previously on Unranked.
But the mist course has like on the levels, there's like switches you can throw and things you can like unlock and interact with. And the courses even have like some puzzles built into them.
Tom, you got FOMO yet?
He can play.
No.
He could just get it on Oculus.
He could just go to your house and ask Brittany if he could have his thing back. And
Yeah, exactly.
He has another thing he could just spend $15 on. The
Wait.
price of a fucking taco.
Your Oculus
Wait,
count.
hold on. The price of a taco is
I
$15?
literally had tacos today, and I had 4, and they cost $14.
Yeah, tacos are fucking cheap.
Well, you could have had a walkabout mini golf session with us.
This is
instead
like
of eating
Tuna
4
when he's
tacos
like, instead of getting a house, you bought avocado toast. I'm a funny guy. Chris
All right.
Chris
Hello.
is
And welcome to episode 393 of the Unranked podcast. I am Christian Humes. Here we have Dan Weine.
Hi, what are you doing?
And
you
Tom
know
Caswell.
exactly what he's doing. He's getting ready for the fucking speed walking competition. This is amazing. Chris, for non-video watchers, remember you can go check out the video for free at youtube.com/unranked podcast, or you can check out the live stream, which some people may be right now. Chris is walking, and what that means is he has the under desk walking treadmill. Yeah. Now, if memory serves me correctly, this is something that you bought a while ago. What's the status been? It's just been sitting in collecting dust for a bit.
I got
and then
too fat by the time it came. I couldn't even use it.
Like, what do you mean by too fat to use it? Like,
It has a weight limit of
wouldn't move?
230 pounds.
yeah.
So I got it on Kickstarter when I was like 215, and I was like, okay. And it was like
I'm
gonna come out this
gonna
summer.
get down, baby.
It came. It didn't ship. It didn't show up. It was like early pandemic, and then it didn't show up until 9 months after it was supposed to. And by that point, I went well past that weight limit.
Yeah. I at the gym.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a I looked it up. Apparently it's not a feature, but I was convinced it was. I was running on the treadmill, and it got to like I start off with a walk just to get the blood flowing, and so I walk for like a quarter mile, and then I'll go into a run. So I kicked it up to like 6.5, right? That's my like setting right now for a run. And it like defaulted back to 5.5. And like every time I would kick it back up, like no matter what speed, the max it would always bring me back to was 5.5. And I was like, oh my God, am I too fat for this fucking treadmill? Like,
Oh my God.
Is this what it's doing? It was doing it on other treadmills too, but there was one that I can use that is next to if all of the TVs are numbered at my gym, and there's a number 5. If I do the treadmill that's directly to the left in the front row, directly to the right in the front row of the treadmills, that one lets me do any speed. But the others that I found knock me down. I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
How long do you go on? How many days? What is your routine?
Welcome
honestly, to the Unranked Fit podcast.
Yeah.
This is
where... it was 2 days a week for a time. We would actually go. We would go during the we'd go during the workday because we'd find a little time here and there to go do that. Just because it's like the least busy amount of time. Because right after work and right before work, busy as fuck. So we were doing that for a while, and then like Baldur's Gate and Starfield kicked in, and like I just couldn't find time during the workday. So we actually have not been in a few weeks, annoyingly. But for a while we were going like 2 to 3 times a week. And I get it comped through work, so that was nice as well. But yeah, so I'm glad that you're getting use out of it.
Oh yeah.
230 is low. Like I got to really shave some pounds to get down to that. But congrats.
Thanks. I'm gonna. How many miles we think I can do, just walking? Because I can't go that fast.
So you're just going this speed
during the podcast. Yeah, I mean, right now, what am I doing? I think I'm doing 2 miles an hour. because it's
Okay, then.
Well, then-
I'm
4
standing
miles.
at a desk. So yeah, so I should be
Yeah,
able to
around
do
4
about
miles.
4
4 or 5.
miles an episode. About 4 miles of recording. How many weeks we got left? 12?
To what?
14? End of the year.
To the end of the year, yeah.
I might be
It's
able
about-
to clock
it's
like
about
50
to be-
miles.
It's about to be 12.
Maybe about, oh, okay. So not 50. I'll do at least a marathon's worth before the year.
I love it. I love it. Chris will be like, his end of the year thing will be like, this year I walked a marathon.
Yeah, if I had started from the beginning of the podcast, I would have almost, I'd be on my way to like being a Cerebrellis,
Right.
you know?
Yep.
I would walk 1,000 miles. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about today's Pokemon, because today I think we have a pretty good Pokemon, but I won't be the judge of that. Dan will be the judge of that.
Uh-oh.
Dan, it's the 393rd episode. Who's that Pokemon?
Blah, blah, blah.
Honestly, if you,
honestly,
rearrange some stuff, if
yeah,
you take
honestly,
out some
that
stuff,
sounds, the
you're
sound
close.
wasn't that
Yeah.
far off. Like if you were like,
Take out 1 or 2 syllables and you've nailed
Blah,
it. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
yeah, that's today's Pokemon is Piplup.
Piplup. Blah blah blah. It's the
Piplup.
same thing.
Dan, what kind of Pokemon do you think Piplup is?
Fucking.
So we just finished the fire Pokemon, and we did the
Okay.
grass Pokemon.
It's a small British water Pokemon.
Well, British.
Piplup.
This is a small blue penguin, little blue penguin. Its name is Piplup. It's very cute. It's a great little Pokemon.
It's great.
Yeah, it is. It's a solid water starter right there. Now Tuna is not with us today,
No.
so someone else got to help me out with that name origin.
All right. Yes.
that is a tall task.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to if you don't have someone looking up on the old Bulbapedia. Let's see here. We have name origin Piplup is derived from plop or plup, the sound of a pebble hitting water.
That's not the sound of a pebble hitting water.
It may also incorporate pip, a stage of growth in baby birds, immediately before they hatch from the eggshell.
All right, that's great.
Interesting.
I love it.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is a great starter, and Gen 4 just has great starters across the board.
Yes.
Like this is I think it's a slam dunk. Two obviously the original gen, great starters across the board. 2 and 3, it's not hitting, and yeah, Piplup, man. I'm just like looking at all of them and I'm seeing if, like, I don't know if we have, maybe Sword and Shield is the next time that like all 3 starters are a slam dunk.
Mm.
And even then it's dubious.
Yeah, the starters have gotten a little strange. The palettes have changed, and they've also become just so much more Digimon like.
Yes.
I think actually Gen 5 is pretty good though.
That's the next gen, right?
Yeah, I think that one's pretty good. I like the 5th generation a lot.
Oshawott is just, I mean, we'll get to him in like 100 episodes or whatever, but he's just like, he's just not, he's almost there, but he's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a little goofy looking, but he has a pretty badass final evolution.
Final Ev. Yeah.
Whereas Tepig is adorable and his final evolution is not the best. So, that's the trade-off over there with the next gen. But this one is where we're at right now. Concern ourselves with that in 103 more episodes. But until then, the hell was that? Oh,
I don't know.
This is the worst app on my phone, Citizen. I really got to just take this. You got
to delete that.
Armed man in custody.
You definitely got to delete that one.
Yeah, I know, but
is that nearby you, or are they talking about the guy in Pennsylvania that got caught?
No, this is nearby me. I don't have it for like citywide, but it's always fun to see the naked person running through the streets, man throws poop at pigeon, or there's always weird shit happening.
I feel like the pigeon's the one reporting that one.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, there's that guy who came out and he was saying like, all the birds are robots.
Yeah, I mean that's an old conspiracy theory now. It's been around a few years.
Yeah, but now now they got the apps. The birds are on the apps, so they're showing up.
Throw poop at them?
Yeah, the citizens are birds. That's what they do. That's what they do with the robots. Is they built an app array, and they're reporting on people. They're just flying narcs, Dan. Flying narcs. So anyway, Piplup, good Pokemon. Everyone likes it. Let's move on. Dan.
Yeah.
How'd that parlay go? How was that big bet? How was your first
The
week
Vikings
of sports?
did not win, so it lost.
Yeah.
As I said, like someone was gonna fuck it up. The Vikings fucked it up. I still made money though on the weekend overall, so
Okay.
Still worked out.
What was your biggest win?
I don't even know.
Well, not
probably a bunch
cost
of
wise, but
ties.
what's the kind of bet? What's the kind of bet?
I think it was just a lot of like with the spread to win type things. Like nothing outrageously big.
Just money line.
No, just like spread bets, and I think I won like 4 out of the 5 I put in.
Do you ever get into like weird parlays or weird bets? The stuff where you're not necessarily betting on the sports themselves, like the scores.
What do you mean?
I don't know. You ever do bets about like injuries or whether or not
those are not available? So
no,
but no,
they need to do more of those. Like how they do like Super Bowl halftime bets and stuff like that.
Yeah, they don't really do crazy shit for normal.
They should
games.
They should get into that.
They don't have 2 weeks to come up with them. I think that's why.
Like there should just be like a standard parlay of like, will there be captured footage of a mascot like tripping or falling over during a game? Will there be a cheerleader who gets hit by a play for standing too close to the line? Will there be, how many cameramen are going to get taken out during this game?
See, that would be an interesting one because I think sound people / cameramen because those guys holding the dish too get taken out all the time.
Yeah,
those are fun. It'd be
around.
tough to prove because some of them don't get shown. The Super Bowl, you have like 7,000 cameras, so it helps.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd get into it.
Anyway.
Tom's a big better.
Oh my God. There's one thing I do not enjoy. It's gambling.
Are you not a Vegas guy?
I've been a handful of times. No, mainly because I honestly don't know the rules to a lot of these games. Like people, I mean, I obviously understand blackjack, but blackjack also the game with the worst odds. So it's can often be not fun to play. But like crap, someone's like, let's go play crap.
It's not the game with the worst odds. It's just it's not good odds, but there's games with worse odds.
I'm pretty sure blackjack is the one with the
worst.
No, the
worst
odds.
I think is War. Like the game, like card game War, they turned into like a table game.
Okay.
And because it's so simple, they made the odds so shitty. Like
gotcha.
I think that's one of the worst ones.
What
blackjack you can actually beat if you card count. You're not allowed to get caught doing it.
Right. I mean, blackjack is a game where like the odds are like very well known at this point for everything, and there are ways you're supposed to play and whatnot. But
this website's listing it as the best odds, so I don't know. What's true.
That's notoriously what I had always heard. So maybe you heard something
slots
and you got it flipped.
Slots would be the worst.
Slots is probably, bad.
Yeah.
Unless you play Wheel of Fortune slots and you're me, and then you always come up top. Wheel of Fortune slots are.
I will say Tuna's not here, but speaking of similar things, apparently, so we went to this charity event thing on Saturday, and he apparently wins the raffles every year. He wins at least one of the raffles. Like he buys some like the same amount of raffle tickets as everyone else, but he's lucky. He just wins every year. So we're sitting there as they call out. There's like 20 different raffles going on. So you got like a sleeve of tickets. You drop them into whatever things you're entering. My mom was there, so I gave her all my tickets and said, go enter it. I don't really care which ones, doesn't matter. So like I'm just listening for the ones she told me she put in for. Tuna is holding 2 things of yellow tickets, and there's different colors: yellow, pink, blue, whatever. They used a few rolls of tickets, and so he's complaining the whole time. He's like, because they keep being like, okay, pink ticket number. He's like, pink, what the fuck? Like he's just like cursing the whole. He's like, they're never gonna fucking pull yellow. a couple times he pulled yellow and he didn't win. Last raffle comes up, he fucking won again. He wins every year.
Oh my god! What did
Every
he win?
year. What a little bastard.
He wins little prizes like gift cards and wine bottles and shit. But
He needs it.
He does.
He needs it.
Yeah, he needs it. He does. Yes, it's not like
Yeah.
he can afford.
He's
those
also
things.
he also I think said
I like
yes
that
about
he was
once
also
out of 10
annoyed
opportunities.
before he won.
Yeah.
Like, of course, he's annoyed that he's not winning, and then he wins.
Yeah.
Now he has this.
Well, the precedent
that,
has
like,
been
you get,
exactly.
Yeah. He goes,
Yeah.
well, I got the ticket. I get a prize, right? Like, you guys all got prize. No?
Yeah,
Like,
he like no. Yeah, he's like that's how he thinks it works because it's happened every year. So
because how come they haven't called my color yet? What's going on?
Yeah. Also, like the whole yes man thing, I was testing it a few times. Got a bunch of no's. I also went to our mutual friend Dave and was like, Tuna claims he's like a big yes guy, and he's like, Tuna? He's like the opposite.
I'm glad to know that I'm not all crazy for thinking that he's a no.
No.
Again, it depends on what the yes and the no's are for. In
Chris,
99,
it looks like you're doing like that. What is it called?
like he
Cross
stepped
country
in dog
skiing.
shit.
It looks like he's cross country skiing right now.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, no, not a big bets guy. Although that being said, I went to my friends and I, like my friend who's a writer for he was writing for GQ at the time. He got to go check out like a tiny home complex thing. So we went to this tiny home complex in like the middle of upstate New York. And we played poker until like 4 a.m. And I was like, I see how people get addicted to this. Like it was the first time like I kind of like saw the Matrix with it. And I was like, oh, okay, it's really clicking for me now, like when to fold, when to double down, like all these things.
Know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Exactly. So yeah, no. It's also one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to risk it for the biscuit. I don't want to go gamble Brooks into gambling. Her and her whole family love.
It can be fun so long as you are someone who can stop yourself, as long as you can pay attention, as long as also you also have to learn how to play the games. Like Dan understands this. Which is why Dan can do it, because he learns how to play the games and he's been doing it for a long enough time. But if you just go and you look up the rules and you go, what, this is the best odds, like, and you sit down, you're going to get smoked. You're going to all your money is going to be gone very fast. So you have to
100%.
pay attention.
100%. So yeah, so that's that.
You know who the biggest gambler I know, other than Dan? John Murphy loves Vegas.
Really?
Big Vegas guy.
That's interesting.
Loves to like get a suit on for his birthday, go to Vegas, hit the craps table.
Yeah.
I mean, he's big James Bond fan. So
Sure.
He learned all the rules. He likes to go. I enjoy it. I really like the free drinks. The ambiance, hanging out with people. And then I like to play like roulette. I like to play the big wheel. I like to play slots, stuff that you can play for a while.
What's the big wheel? Just like
the big wheel.
It's a giant wheel that they spin.
It's just a wheel spin. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
It's awesome.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
It's great, and it's all just like it's like roulette, but much simpler too. Like there's like only a handful of different options it's landing on, so you're just putting dollars on. It's like, oh, like I got a 1-to-1 return on this one, or big wheel's fun. Big wheel.
Do you have to like get chips for the big wheel, or that's the only one you can throw cash on the table?
That's one of those ones where you can put cash. You can use chips, but that is one of the ones where you can use cash, and it's because most people are just putting down like 1s or 5s. Most people aren't even putting down like 10s. Like you'll see 10s and 20s come in, and those people come in, they'll drop like 1 or 2 bets, and then they'll just walk away. I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna use $30 at the big wheel, and I'm gonna sit here for like 30 minutes. Like it's the only way. Like you can spend a not large amount of money and just gamble and hang out for a while. And like even if you lose every round, because of all the time of like similar to roulette, the time of like waiting for everyone to place their bets, clearing the table, exchanging the money, you're there for a while. You're not losing money, you're hanging out. It's a good time. And it's a little bit like The Price is Right. You got the big wheel spinning, you got the little ticker. It's a good time. Everybody's having Fun time at the big wheel. Brooke's interrupting the show right now. What do you think she wants, Dan?
To
Tom's
party.
got like a smile, but it's like a shit-eating grin where he's like sort of smiling because he's being polite to Brooke, but like
She's
like
probably
trying...
talking about because she overheard like her family's big gamblers now.
Oh,
No.
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
that. It wasn't that. It was Brooke has been hanging out with our friends who live in the apartment above us, and she made. We're go next week. We'll be at Chris's, so we're gonna try and figure out a way to like make that work. We'll be in LA and
Make what work?
like doing
Being
the
in LA?
podcast live and you
yeah.
and I in the same space and stuff.
Yeah. I have 2 mics.
Yeah. So we're gonna be in LA. So we're kind of like clearing, and then we're gonna be at my parents' is what we're gonna come back and stay at my parents for a bit after that. So we're gonna be out of the apartment for like 3-ish weeks maybe. And so Brooke just like slapped together like the last of the food we have in the fridge for like a meal, and it's like she made black bean meatballs, so like using black beans instead of ground beef.
Black bean balls.
Black bean balls, and we have like cooked lasagna things. So she just made like lasagna and meatballs, but it's black bean balls. And I had some earlier. She went upstairs and I had some earlier. I was like, fuck, this is really good. Like it's real, like it was. She made the black bean mix for like burgers, and they were fine, they were okay, but it's really good in the lasagna. And I had a bowl of it, and then I was like, I'm having a second. And then she just came back and she had a little bit to drink. She came back and she like ate some, and she looked over at me like, this is really, and I was like, it is really good. It's really fucking good. Like I'm gonna have some more after the podcast. Anyway, so that's what was going on.
Very nice.
On the road again.
Yeah, I'm here with my buddy Forrest.
So Aaron Rodgers.
Speaking of Aaron, do you see this guy?
There he is.
You see
I believe that's
that guy's
going.
not getting back.
Aaron Rodgers.
An exciting week for football.
I mean, is this what we're talking about? We're talking about Aaron Rodgers.
We don't have to. I can move on. I just know that Dan is he's very into the football. And...
Dan, are you a Jets guy? Or are you a Giants guy? Okay.
I'm a Jets fan.
Yeah. You're a Jets fan.
I wasn't thrilled about it, but I'm also not as panicky as some people. And they're like, "Oh, we need to sign this guy who got dropped from 6 other teams in the last 4 weeks." It's like,
yeah, I was going to say. I
like the joke
I'm
about
sure that you're not thrilled with him being your fucking quarterback either. Like,
I like the joke that everyone made about like Tom Brady has the chance to do the funniest thing ever now and just like return and play for the Jets.
I saw the meme
because he owns part of the Raiders, so it's very weird. He has to probably sell that stake. It'd be weird.
I saw a great meme that was that joke, but it was The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises, and Bruce Wayne's like, "I'm retired," and Lucius Fox is like, "I know you are. Let me just show you what I've been working on for old time's sake."
Aaron Rodgers said he posted on like Instagram. People are like reporting on it within the last couple hours. He's like, "I will rise again," and I was like, "What the fuck is this shit? What is he, the South?" Like,
definitely, especially combined with all the other previous.
He was going for more of a Jesus thing than a South thing, but
I think
they're also inexplicably
either way, it's
similar.
stupid.
So
he's a real weird
3 days, 3 nights.
Oh my god.
There you go.
That's unbelievable. So I do so because it's a build year. So I'm glad I'm doing the treadmill because this is the new thing I'm adding. Because Tom, season 4 it's a build season. Remember, season 3 cut down. We removed things from the show. Show shrunk. Season 4.
Oh, I see.
Build season. We got
what
previous.
Wait, so this is another. So you're saying this is another part of like building on the show is the fact that you're on the walk.
Well, so I had a different thing planned for this episode, but I'm not introducing it until Alex is here because it really won't play as well. So that's gonna get kicked.
By the end of the season, Chris gonna be like a one-man band. He's got a fucking Vuvuzela and
this show is gonna be unrecognizable by season 5.
Amazing. What a chaotic. This is what
I mean, it's ultimately gonna just come down to how many things can I come up with before I give up and stop coming up with new things.
Yes. I already noticed in the opening that you were like, fuck it, I'm just gonna select this like 30 seconds and just let it ride instead of like having to find stuff across
Well,
the episode.
Well, the first time I did it across the episode because it was like a funny way to put a thing together. But the last time I did go with if there's a funny segment that especially feels like it's going to come back up, I feel like that's what you want to go with, right?
100%.
So that's
right,
because
that's what the previously is on for. It's to set up the thread. So
right.
No,
so,
totally
but
right.
if not, then I might just pull non sequiturs and put shit together and make, whatever. Who knows what it's going to be? We'll see. But yeah. So speaking of talking to Alex the other day, Dan, actually, let's rewind. Dan, how far did you get into your Taskmaster watch? Have you completed it?
No, I've been slowing down a bit. I watched an episode last night, but I'm not watching like 5 or 6 at a time anymore because I realized that when I was doing that, I just stopped paying attention. Like,
oh, sure, yeah.
And then I'd be like, what was the point of watching it if I didn't see any of it?
Yes.
So I'm doing like 1 or 2.
Do you know what season you're on?
I want to say 11 or 12. I think 11.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so you had said something. See, now Tom's not here. He keeps getting up. This is a messy episode so far. We're all over the place.
What is it? It's just the colors, I guess. It looked like he had like a cloth draped from the wall over his chair, but it's not.
I think it's just a white shirt.
It's just a white shirt on the chair.
It's just a white
wall behind it.
I'm gonna remove the stupid background. Although my video is gonna look weird now, but whatever.
The background's kind of driving me nuts because it keeps not quite working behind you, but almost working.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could put up a green screen, but then we're really getting wild down here, Well, I had an idea concerning our Taskmaster special that I really wanted to be able to bring this up with Alex before the show or during the show with the two of you, but now it's just you and me. So where do you think Tom has gone today? Because this is, I guess, our new reoccurring segment. Because last week he got up.
I'm guessing he's balls deep in bean balls right now.
In bean balls,
black bean balls.
I got to be honest, that doesn't sound good to me. I don't like black beans.
I don't mind them. I've had things that have been good with like black bean paste. Like,
do you like beans? Are you a bean guy? Are you a bean man?
Not particularly.
Yeah, I'm not a bean man. Oh, all right. Looks like Tom is getting fucking sloshed on the show.
I guess.
What you got there? What you got there, buddy?
Oh, right in front of what I just put down.
Yeah.
A little rum.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then
literally
I went for
a little
something.
So, the rum's not going to go bad if you leave it for 2 weeks, right?
No, I know. I'm just having some rum. I like literally just bought it, and then I went for Jarritos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Little lime soda.
Little lime soda. Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's what I'm doing. I had to go pee too.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
So we're talking about Taskmaster. I mean,
yes.
Listen,
dude, the amount of people who now watch this show is like,
it's huge.
It's getting really
you got to start
big.
watching it now.
I know, and I enjoyed.
It's weird that you are now the person.
I know
on the show that does not watch it, and you're from there.
I'm from there. Yes.
He's from that particular studio they film it in.
Yeah, I was born on that studio. Actually,
that's actually his house.
I was gonna say a lot of like TV shows are actually produced in my father's hometown because it's cheaper because it's right outside of London.
Yeah,
it's like the Burbank of London.
They do have. Yes,
it is.
It is.
Yes, it is. It's very close to there.
It is.
Called
Dad,
Cheswick.
you nailed it.
Yeah.
So, so it may be, but no, but yeah, no, I gotta get on that. I enjoyed, and I mean, I gotta watch one in prep for when we do Tuna's Ask.
Do you have people at work that like it? Is that why?
Just like people following on
Have
Twitter.
You told them that you're doing the Taskmaster special
again? It's not people like directly at work, but it's like people like other journalists and stuff that I follow on Twitter are like, I'm super into Taskmaster now.
I bet some people that you at work.
I'll share it. I'll share it
should.
with people.
Well, so here's what's happening. Dan brought up a really good point to me because when he started watching it, he said the only thing about the task where we get to do is it's not we're missing out on all of the like simple like put the ball in the thing because we can't film it in person. You know, like Dan's not going to Alex's and filming.
Yeah, like one of the ones I just watched last night was like put this frozen banana in that bottle.
Right. So I thought, let's solve that. So talked to Alex last night. I will be coming and visiting Alex in October, and he's going to come up with extra tasks. So everyone's going to have to individually go to Alex's and film tasks. And so instead of this being an episode that was broken into 2 episodes, so that we didn't have like one really long one, we're going to break it into 3. So he's going to set up 3 live tasks, and then it's basically going to be like a 3-episode season of Unranked Taskmaster is what we want to do here.
Unranked Tuna's Ask,
which I think will be great because we're totally missing out on those. Like
no, we are.
Box, like
it'll be so much more fun
where it's not like you have to make something or like produce a thing. It's like so that means we'll also be getting an extra prize task. We were supposed to talk to you guys about this tonight. He's not here. I also feel like
here we are.
Time is money. So
time is money. 100%.
It is. It's a little. I'm starting to get a little out of breath, like talking a lot while walking.
You got another. If you want to hit that 4 mile, you got to get another.
I'm gonna have to put the fan on me because I'm getting hot.
16. Hour 16. I'll do some talking for a bit if you want to not.
Yeah, I'll listen. I'll listen. That's wait. Hold on. Has Dan frozen? Oh, okay. No, Dan, you were sitting so perfectly still that I thought you froze.
All of my attention was playing with this stupid
what is
thing
that?
from my Fitbit.
Is that a vape?
No,
okay.
it's the band from my Fitbit, and it's broken now. Like it refuses to stay on. But I was playing with the stupid metal part, just pushing it back and forth, and that's when you were like, "Are you frozen?" I was like, "No, I was fucking fidgeting."
So 2 things actually really quick, and then I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you guys are on board with this. I think it'll be so much fun. Therese has to travel for work. Her brother's kid has a birthday coming up. She was like, "Do you want to go with me to New York?" Which is good because my brother also just had a kid, so I can go meet my new nephew. It's going to be a small, like, quick turnaround. So I was like, "Oh, there's not going to be time to see all the boys." But then I said to Alex, I could find a few hours if you want to do this. And he was instantly on board, which I was surprised because this requires work for Alex. It means Alex has to be on camera. It means Alex has to hold a camera. It means Alex has to like do stuff, come up with stuff, do work. So I feel good about this because we were all kind of like, it's bullshit that Alex gets out of having to do the stuff. Now he has to be involved.
No,
so I think
gotta do stuff.
That's number 1. Number 2, wow, it's hard to keep the talking going.
It's a wonder they don't give speeches while running a marathon.
Right? Yeah,
no, it's good. It's good. It's making me really focus. Look, this thing's been going for 32 minutes. I'll give you a calorie count at some point.
Oh yeah.
So we were going to try and do this for around episode 400, and we could put it out during the live stream Extra Life. I think, Tom, what we'll do is instead, since we have to kick the can, we'll make it an end of year thing where we put these out.
Yeah.
You know, during the holiday time when we pre-record. So we can put these out like during holiday time. So that way we'll probably end up like recording the actual thing in like November instead of in October. So there's a lot more time for everyone. And instead for Extra Life Week, which we should still do, and for that episode 400, I have what is going to be the greatest new addition to the Unranked podcast that I've ever come up with. In fact, it is going to be such a good time. I wouldn't say it's a power hour, but everyone's going to want to have beers.
Everyone's going to want chicken nuggets.
Yes. Everyone's going to want to have beers.
Okay.
Episode 400. I can tell you what it is, but I promise you.
No, I'll save it. It's fine.
You would enjoy the surprise more than if I tell you. But episode 400, look forward to it. All right. That's all I got to say. Tom, you go. I got to turn off this fan.
I was going to talk about games. Sorry, 1 sec. I think Zuko's got something you shouldn't have. 1 sec. I'll be right back.
All right, Dan.
You son of a bitch.
I think Tom wanted to go take care of Zuko.
Dan, what's going on? What is something of interest that you want to talk about? You must have something here.
Yeah, I got a couple things.
Right,
my vacation's finally ending today. Today's the last day of my bunch of weeks of vacation. But I've been playing I started playing Baldur's Gate a little bit.
Yeah.
Just getting into it. Played like probably 4 or 5 hours. I'm not very good at planning ahead,
This
but
son of a
getting better.
bitch. When I went to go to the bathroom, I knocked the yeah, I know. Where's the crystal? Yeah. Where is it?
This is the
All
most
right.
distracted Tom's ever been
Yeah,
on the show.
what the fuck's going on right now? Anyway.
I knocked over and knocked off. He is going nuts right now. The container for one of my kyber crystals, and that's what he had. And the crystal is gone. The container is empty, so I don't know where the crystal is. But
Oh,
we'll
man.
find it.
Did you get every color or just one?
I got purple, blue, and red.
Okay.
Yeah, I got blue with the saber, and then I got red and purple.
All right.
The additional.
Well, Tom, if you'd like
Let's talk about
to
games.
find another reason to get up and interrupt, please do. Dan, continue the story you tried to begin.
Oh,
that's all right.
Yeah.
No, I've been playing Baldur's Gate a little bit, enjoying it. It's still very early stages of that game. And I also was on one of our listeners, Steve, has a or Boat Boy, whatever you know him as, has a podcast he does about Survivor called Survivor TBT.
You've been on that, right? Before?
Yeah, no, I was, and so I
Great.
was back on again the other day. Did
That's awesome.
The first episode of season 8 of Survivor, so All Stars.
Hell yeah.
Which is a great season.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you saw recently, he had Johnny Fairplay on for a special
No, I
episode.
didn't.
They interviewed Johnny Fairplay for like 2 hours.
That's great.
Very interesting stuff.
That's super cool. I loved being on that podcast. What's the title of it?
I believe it's Survivor Turning Back Time.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's because I remember like it had like a sand dial or something on like the
on the picture.
Yeah. Sand time.
There goes again.
This really is the episode of Where is
this
Tom?
Is like where in the world is Tom?
He did say for season 4 that Tommy the Flake was coming back. He's only flaked out, I think, on one episode. Now he's just doing it during the show.
Episodes. Yeah, it's just so much
He'll
worse.
be like, I will join. I'll start the stream, but I'm gonna just periodically get up, interrupt,
and then come back as if we're waiting, holding our breath for him to just say something.
Oh, and also, like talk to his dog. Like he came back and he's just talking to the dog. He doesn't have his mic muted. It's ridiculous. Really something.
Unprofessional.
So you're playing Baldur's Gate. Is that on PlayStation 5? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I downloaded it on PlayStation. That was the plan because I can more easily play it on console with my current setup.
So how what do you think so far?
Because
this seems like
a
game that you don't typically play.
No, there's a lot going on. There's a lot constantly going on.
Yeah.
And it's almost starting to bother me a little bit, like just that I can't focus on one thing at a time. This shit's just gonna keep happening all over the place. Just dealing with it. Trying to roll the punches.
What's your character look like?
I think I went with a half elf.
Okay.
I think it's a half elf woodlands druid.
All right.
That's
what's her name?
I couldn't think of anything. I gave it like my name with a spin on it. So like Daniel, Danyll.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's cool.
So,
that's cool.
4 or 5 hours, and I'm sure there's like 400 more hours of content. But
I saw the update pop, and it was like Big Dan is playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm like, what the fuck?
Damn. I'm glad you're venturing into the world of Baldur's Gate.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you still playing?
That was the end of that story, Tom. You missed all of it.
Am I still playing? I'm playing with Brooke. Basically.
Oh, right. That's right.
But basically just doing the co-op with her, my single player storyline, like just because Starfield and everything kind of came out. So I've just been doing it with co-op with her. Although like she is like, she doesn't have the problem of being distracted by stuff. Like she doesn't want to be distracted. She just focuses. So we got to basically where I was in my single player campaign, but like in like a third of the time because we just rushed through things. Like we were missing almost every companion except one, like all this stuff. So it's really funny. But I told her, I was like, look, like I'm letting you lead this. Like I want you to like, however you want to play this, like whether you want to be an asshole, whether you want to be the good guy, like it'll get confusing if we have conflicting. So I'm just going with what you want to go with.
Yeah.
But no, just been playing more Starfield. Definitely. Well, it's interesting. Definitely. Well, actually, have you started playing yet?
No,
there you go.
I gotta tell you, this analog pocket, man, I fucking love this thing. I'm just playing old video games. I'm just playing Zelda Minish Cap. I'm playing a lot of there's so many Super Nintendo games that I played growing up all the time. I played so much Super Nintendo as a kid. And it was my oldest brother, so like he ended up taking that, and so I just haven't played any of those games in forever. Playing Jurassic Park Lost World. Oh, very good game. So playing some SNES,
going back in time, baby.
Playing a lot of GBA, Dungeon Dice Monsters, which I mentioned, maybe 6 months ago, a GBA game that I only ever played as an emulated ROM. I never played it. Like I never owned the game. And the ROM that I played as like a kid was in Japanese. So like I didn't really know the rules. I had to like figure it out through trial and error. But it was a Yu-Gi-Oh based game. So it was mostly about like points and dice rolling and monsters and stuff. But it's really cool, Tom. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh tactics game. It's like a very, very cool game. But now I can actually play that game. And then the other thing is there were a lot of like Gundam and Dragon Ball games and stuff like that just weren't released in the West, or if they were small, like you didn't know about them. So there's like a lot of like Gundam Fighter games and shit like that. I'm playing those for the first time. A lot of Analog Pocket. Tuna and I have been playing a lot of Walkabout mini golf.
Yes.
He often likes to take lunch and play Walkabout mini golf with me during the day. He'll text me at like, it'll be like 9:45 my time. He'll be like, "You hop on? You want to play a hole?" I'm like, "All right, yeah."
I did actually, because I was missing it. I was feeling like I was missing it. So I did hit, but then I thought I was very close to just buying an Oculus, as mentioned in the previously on. See, this is where the thread continues.
I think it's on sale.
The only thing is, it doesn't have cross progression.
Correct.
So I would have, if anything that I unlocked, I would have to re-unlock on the PS5.
Yeah, but I know where all that stuff is, so we could just hop in the course and I can show you where the stuff is. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, that was why that is why Alex bought it, because he could play this on his Oculus One. And as we were playing, every like 20 minutes, he'd be like, "I'm gonna have to find all this stuff again." He was like, but I already got Lost Balls on like 3 courses. And then the next day he fucking bought it because he was like, "Well, I didn't want to find everything again."
Yeah, they should take his testimonial and like put it on the digital box of like, "I bought a PSVR 2 for this."
There was some comment recently from the devs. They have like close to like a dozen courses right now, like in development,
in the pipeline. Hell yeah.
And I'm
so happy that it's getting supported. It really is like the best multiplayer. I think it's the best multiplayer game out right now.
Yeah, it's
sad because not everyone has the ability to play it.
It's my game of the year right now.
Sure.
Like, it sounds insane, but I can't wait. The iOS version is going to come out like pretty soon. I cannot wait to see what that is. I bet it's going to be an Apple Arcade title because it's not Android. It's only an iOS.
Okay, interesting.
So they're doing an iOS version. It's supposed to use AR instead of VR. So my guess is what you're going to do is, you're going to be able to look at it like you're in VR, and it'll probably lock you to the ball when you want to hit. And then you're going to just swing. That's really hard to do while I'm on a treadmill. Yeah, but you're going to
that's why people don't play golf
your hand like you're holding a golf club. The only part of it I can't figure out is how do you swing the phone like a golf club, but also make sure it's lined up, because you can't really see the phone.
Well, that's where that falters for me. Yeah. Now, this being said, however that comes out, if Apple comes out at their like like we've already had the tease of the Vision Pro, but we'll get like a big event like for the unveiling, right? Like the final product design. If they're like launch title, Walkabout mini golf.
Dude,
Are you getting that fucking headset?
no, because I can play it on my PSVR too. But
yeah, but it'll be mixed reality.
I want to be in that
you
world.
Be in
I don't
it,
want to
sure.
share that world.
Think about how good it will be, though. Like, think about how good it would be on that fucking. Yeah.
I mean, look, they have a club attachment for the VR, which I ordered. What if they have a little stick that you put your phone on? So then you see the screen and you hit it, and it's like a golf club.
So the flat, okay.
Maybe that's how it works.
No, it's no way.
I mean,
whatever it is, I'm very curious.
The first game this company made, you and I saw indicate it was Laser Maze, and it was like you're in a big maze, like like a laser security grid system, and you had to like hold the iPad in front of you and like move around. Like, who fucking knows? I can't wait to see what it is. But this year we still got Meow Wolf coming and another Jules Verne Around the World in 80 Days. But Alfheim came out last week, and we played the fuck out of that course. And I got to say, the thing they did, so the hard courses are at nighttime. They have the daytime course and the nighttime. So every course has 2 versions, which is great. And there's 21. So there's fucking 42 different courses you can play in this game already, which is a lot for a mini golf game. Yeah. They did a very clever, and when I say it, obvious thing, but they hadn't done this. They did a mirror mode basically where hole 18 is hole 1 and hole 1 is hole 8. So like you go in reverse order on it, and it makes it feel really different, because all the other ones, they would just, tweak all the holes to make them harder.
Right.
This one, because hole 1 to 18 is always like more complex, they like had to drastically change all the designs. So it was very cool. It made it feel like a very different event. Also, my absolute favorite new ball that I use now, I got from that hole. So it's great. It's great. Played a lot of Walkabout mini golf, played a lot of Analog Pocket.
Take that out of context.
Oh, yeah. Great holes. Great holes. Great balls.
Great balls.
Good game.
Oh, speaking about great holes, how was the boat trip?
Oh. So the prediction from last week that I would survive the boat trip was true.
Well,
the reason was I didn't go because Matt had to cancel. Matt had to work. He could not go.
Which so
Emily wasn't going, which I'm like, I'm not going. He texted me like, "Oh, are you gonna go with my friend Will?" I'm like, I met this guy once, like after a baseball game. Like, I'm not driving to Long Beach and hanging out on like that is no. So I was able to. I was gonna go if I couldn't get a refund, but I was able to get a refund. So
okay,
I didn't end up going. Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't even bring it up, because
I was gonna say, like, yeah, we didn't hear about it. Damn. After all of that,
I know. I'm so well. Now I'm glad I didn't really bring it up on the show, because then it would have felt like obligated to go.
Sure, for the content.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but now then it's just like a big wet fart. But...
Oh, I forgot that we talked about that mostly on the post show.
Yes,
TVMA reasons.
Yes.
Go subscribe to the Spartan program if you want to hear about what could have happened to Chris on this boat. Okay, so you've been analog pocketing and stuff. Yeah, I've been back into Starfield. I've made a ton of progress in the campaign. I am like literally like on the second to last mission. I was really hoping to finish it before the pod, but it is what it is. I gotta say, campaign picks up when you start like uncovering, like it just has you for so long. Just go over here and grab this artifact. Go over to this planet and grab this artifact, and it's just you going into mines, you're grabbing these artifacts, the same stuff. There's some change ups here and there where it's like, oh, this artifact was discovered by someone else and they're selling it on the black market. You need to go like bid on it or whatever. It does change it up a little bit. For the most part, though, it is just this. You go to a new mine on a new planet and get these artifacts. But then it kind of starts to reveal what the artifacts are, what they're doing. And that is interesting. I'm also very curious as to where they came up with this element of the storyline in their timeline of developing the game, because it seems very apt for what a lot of modern day media and like pop culture is like revolving around. It just like feels very contemporary for the kind of stories we're telling now, but I know that they must have conceived this idea like a half decade at least ago. So I'm just very curious about that. So I was like, oh, this is really interesting and really cool and different from the fact that like it is a story that is like very contemporary. But it's still like, it still just doesn't have these like there's this like set piece that should be really fucking cool and it's just flat. But then the second to last mission is feels very inspired by a mission that is heralded in a different game. It's heralded as one of the best like levels in a video game ever. And when it happened, I was like, where the fuck did this come from? Where did like maybe one of the best missions in a video game I've
no
ever
Russian
played, like come no. I'll, as a tease, the time switching one from Titanfall 2.
Oh, dude, Titanfall 2 campaign. Dan, did you ever play that?
Titanfall 2?
Yeah, the campaign.
Yeah, I think so.
That is
a
a lot
while
of people just played the multiplayer and didn't play the campaign. It's only like 8 hours too. That is one of the best.
Wait, Tom, did you ever post the live link
to the Spawn program?
Yeah, because I don't see it.
It's
oh
it's
yeah,
right there.
yeah, it's right there.
What the hell's with my computer? It took until you said yeah, it's there to come up.
Yeah.
No,
it showed
that's
up
me.
late.
I just posted it. It was I created the post. I never hit enter. It was all right.
Yeah, Slater. I know Slater was waiting for it.
I just apologized for us on your behalf. I said Tom fucked up.
It is my fault. It is my fault. My bad. My bad. Yikes. Anyway, Titanfall 2 campaign though. Very good. Great game. Yeah, and that mission in particular, that's what this mission kind of evokes. And it's awesome. It's so well done. I think it might even be done better in this game. And I'm just like, where the fuck was this energy the whole time? Like, I needed stuff like this throughout the story, but it just happens like right at the very end. Plus side though, it's got me very excited to play Star Wars Outlaws. Because Star Wars Outlaws, did you watch the gameplay, Chris, from that one?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited for it.
Sure.
However, there are a lot of people that were very happy with Andor because it's not about Jedi.
Sure.
Same with Mandalorian. And I'm like, yeah, that's good for some of that. But that's not what it gets me going with Star Wars. Ahsoka is my shit. I want the
lightsaber in the Jedi.
If I want like grounded space adventures, there's plenty of other places I can go. I want, magicians in space. That's what Star Wars is.
Yeah. I get that.
Magicians in space.
But in that gameplay, it's like you're infiltrating like a bandit camp, and then you are taking the loot to this.
I mean, it looked cool, very visually.
You jump in your ship and you're flying to another system, but it's not. It's a little bit of a cross between like Starfield and No Man's Sky, where you are flying the ship into space. You're in space, and then you're jumping to the next system.
It's not Destiny where you just pop into a screen and
Someone actually posted a really funny video that was like if Cyberpunk was made by Bethesda. And it's like you're walking through a hallway, and you get to an elevator, and you press the go to the next level button, and then it has a loading screen.
Oh my god!
And then you get in a car, and then getting in the car has a loading screen, which is like how that
Starfield
works.
has a lot of loading screens.
Oh, dude, yeah, just constantly.
Sounds like my kind of game.
You want to fast travel to your ship, loading screen. You want to jump to another planet, loading screen.
What happened with these consoles? And they were like, load times.
Forget
about them.
Yeah.
Well, because they were low when the games were like a third of the size, and then immediately they were like, or we could just make the games fucking gigantic.
Yeah, I mean, look, the other thing is like it's specific. That specifically, the load time thing was with like Unreal Engine 5, like and also like there won't be any load times in Spider-Man 2, for example. But this is built in Creation Engine, like. Even though it's Creation Engine 2, it's still really just the original Creation Engine.
Just everyone go on Unreal Engine 5.
especially
At least
after
it's
this
not built in
Unity
Unity.
debacle. Yeah, exactly.
Isn't Nintendo? Didn't they say they're
they're
moving to
starting
using
to
Unreal
they're
Engine now?
starting to use Unreal. I think Pikmin is an Unreal
Oh,
game.
honestly, it's probably because
I think Pikmin
it's
4 is an Unreal game.
I bet it
Pikmin
has to do with
4
the
is an
new
Unreal
Switch
4 game.
hardware and Unreal Engine 5 probably being optimized for it.
Right, because it's more of a PC than
Yes.
it is in theory.
Yeah.
We'll get to Switch 2 and news.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's anyway, so it's just like, where is the, but I'm excited for Star Wars Outlaws because it seems to be way more of a focused, because I was like, damn, if Starfield just had more focus, it would be a fantastic game. But the problem is like its great ideas are spread too thin because it's literally like go to any planet anywhere. Like
Yeah.
I tried to do this thing on my stream last week that was, I thought it'd be a great idea. Starfield roulette. Roll a wheel, big wheel, right? You enjoy the big wheel.
I love a big wheel.
Roll the big wheel.
Yeah.
Letter, right?
Spin,
it's got
by the way.
every letter. Spin. Yes, thank you. Spin the big wheel.
Yeah.
Letter of the alphabet. Boom. Ah. I have to find a star system that begins with R, and I have to land on a random planet there.
All right.
And then
Rank
I'm going to do
5.
Exactly. Spin the wheel again. Next planet. I went to a planet. I found a little like outpost, and they go, "Oh, dude, our main outpost, the space pirates took it over.
Oh,
like they just came in, they rolled
some
in.
Straw Hats.
Yeah, no, like more of like the Captain Kuro, like more of the like bad pirates.
Yeah, Alvida.
The pirates rolled in, like, can you help us? And I was like, yeah, sure. Go over there. Pirates go to the outpost they're taking over. I'm a pirate myself, so I was able to talk out of that situation, which was cool.
Oh, I didn't think about being a space pirate though.
It's the space pirate like side quest and all of that is the best stuff in the game, like by leaps and bounds.
Okay,
like,
I have to say, you've now just said the first thing that has made me interested in like really playing this game.
The space pirate stuff is maybe the best stuff in any Bethesda. Like that main quest, that quest line. Unfortunately, not.
I have a hard time picking. I'll just quick pin in where you are. I have a very hard time doing the wrong thing in games, though. Like, unless it's like a GTA thing where, like you're just going to go on rampages or something and like get in shootouts with the police. Any game where it's like story and it's like you have choices, I always struggle to like pick the jackass choices.
Sure.
So maybe I wouldn't actually have fun as a space pirate because I know I would like get to the
I've
options and then I'd be like, I'm like really fucking torn about this.
Well, yeah, I don't want to. I mean, there's a lot of minutia with that. There's also like the Vanguard storyline I've heard is really good, which is the like you're not a space cop, you're like it's not the bounty hunter.
I definitely don't want to be a space cop.
No, it's not anyway.
A scab.
You definitely should you should dabble when you get the
space
chance.
Cops are
anyway.
No, I'm just trying to think. I was trying to think of like what else it could change.
But I did this little activity is what they call it, where it's like this just like nothing burger of a mission.
Yeah.
And then I spun the wheel again. And okay, it's C, right? Like I think I went to
Crumbly 43.
Crumbly 43.
Great.
Yeah, went to Crumbly 43. Come across a little outpost. Oh, the space pirates, they took over our main thing. Can you go deal with that? Yeah, I just did this, but I'm gonna go do it on Crumbly 43 now. I get there. It's the exact they have a bunch of different outpost designs, but I stumbled upon literally the exact same outpost design. Like it was the same abandoned science laboratory as the activity I had just done on a different planet. Go talk to the head of the cat. He's like, we're not going to abandon this so easily. I do the exact same persuasion choices. I talk him out of it. Boom. I was like, oh, like this should have been like a fun idea, but I like stumbled across the same thing. And the cracks in the game appear the more you play. Like there's one of the earliest side missions you can stumble across is called the Mantis. And basically you take upon the persona of the Mantis, which is like a space superhero. And the first time you jump into a system and you face off against spacers, they'll be like, oh, I scanned the ship. It's the mantis. And they're like, no way, that's
Mantis
just that's just a folk tale. Oh shit, it is the mantis. And they jet out of there. And instead of having to fight them, they like run away. And it's really cool. And like the people that you save, like one of them is like doesn't believe that you're real. The other person, like they're talking over comms, they're like, no, I always believed in the mantis. I'm like, this is such cool world building. I have had that interaction happen like 24 times at this point, and there is no difference in the verbiage. Like there is no differently recorded lines or anything like that. It is the exact same dialogue, like to the point where I honestly just skip through it. I'm like, fuck.
So
this.
they treat like these like sort of random events kind of the same way they do at Koroks, where they probably just put a lot of the same kind of bullshit all over the place so that you'll run into enough of it no matter where you go.
Yeah. But with the Korok thing, there is a little bit of variation.
A little bit,
like,
dude. There's so many where it's just like, oh, look at this rock that's missing.
It's the same thing, but it is slightly altered.
And sometimes like, I definitely like completed the circle of rocks like 6 times.
Oh,
like
for
that
sure.
Is
but
like
the other thing is the Korok thing is something you do immediately,
yes,
right?
It's
like it's
quick.
like
it's
you resolve it in 10 seconds, you get the reward. This is like use your boost pack to get a kilometer over there. There are no land vehicles, so you gotta get a kilometer. Then you gotta make your way through the complex. There's like 4 or 5 doors that have locks that you have to lockpick until you can get to the guy to talk to him to convince him to not. Like at this point, I regret joining the Space Pirates because at least if I showed up, I'd have to shoot my way through, which would be more fun than just like walking past everyone, being like, "Hey, how's it going? Gonna talk to the dude. Gonna convince him." That being said, though, I do think that that if you did want to just kind of like speed through the campaign, like honestly, this mission I'm playing right now is very cool, but I am excited for it. I am thinking like maybe Star Wars Outlaws is going to be the space game because it's going to have a little bit of that openness. Like you can take off and go to a planet and like fly into space and grav jump and go to another planet, and you can tackle side missions, but it's going to have more focus because it isn't going to be like 1,000 planets, and you're not going to have procedurally generated worlds. Like everywhere is going to be bespoke, and it's not just like you can go anywhere on this planet and they're going to do the same shit a dozen times.
Did you see like some guy came up with the perfect ship build in the game? Like
the one that has a it's like a box.
It's like a window
frame
shape.
of
like
a box.
Yeah, because the hitbox they always shoot at the very center. So someone figured out if I build a ship that's just a giant empty square, they will shoot through it and not at the
That's
ship.
amazing.
Yeah, it's really fucking
That's
funny.
really cool. I would probably try to dress that up a little bit more and do like, a spherical design or something, because I feel like although like you might maybe kind of look like the board.
Spheres are tough. You can really only go laterally or like it's a sphere. I wanted to build an X-wing, but you can't really build diagonally. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, I built well, it's not a B-wing because the other thing with the ship building is cool, but it is limiting.
Yeah,
you can only attach you can only attach things a certain way. They can only face a certain way depending on what you're building. I wanted to build a B-wing. I built something in that vein. I do want. I would like to hear someone else's opinion on this game, but
all right, I will play it.
And then
he says for the third time.
The real quick thing. So the thing that I am hearing is that the new game plus is really interesting. It isn't just like you're playing the game again, like it is doing something different, to the point where some people have like played through the campaign like 5 or 6 times. And when you kind of get to the reveal of what is really going on toward the middle of the story, you kind of get an idea of where the new game plus is going. And that has me really fucking jazzed to beat the campaign and see what the new game plus is. Because if it is what they're teasing, that could be really fucking cool. But it's insane to tell people like, hey, the game doesn't really get good until you've beaten the campaign and play it over again. Like, that's an insane thing to say. But I'm very close to that. So maybe next week I will come back and be like, hey, new game plus is totally worth it. Like, the other thing is if you do speed through the campaign, it's pretty quick. They say
Yeah.
20 hours. Like, I'm very close to the end and
Oh,
like
wow.
got that very quickly.
Well, now I'm more interested again.
So that, Chris, that is the game of being like, I never want to touch this again one moment, and then being like, this is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be that bad considering like you love Baldur's Gate and you're still basically only playing with Brooke right now because you do have Starfield.
I mean,
so the fact that it is occupying your time, you could just stop playing this game.
Yes and no. I mean, I do have to play
stuff
for
for
work. So but that is the ending of this week. Like the last major project I had was this outpost guide I had to do. And I'm about to be off work for a week, and we're already trying. Like Mortal Kombat is coming out this week, early access, which I'm definitely going to jump on. And we can probably play local when I show up, which would be fun. But that is a very successful game for us, like historically.
Yeah,
and so like, Starfield has not paid off for us in terms of like views and things like that I think we hoped it would. So we're like, all right, and Cyberpunk 2.0 is right around the corner. Like that is a game that has historically.
The fuck is that?
Sounds like a second Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk 2.0 is their update.
Is it what the game was supposed to be when it came out?
It's not necessarily what it's supposed to be. It is just a better version of that.
You're so trying to not agree with that, but you are agreeing.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Is it adding a lot of what I want from that original experience? Absolutely. What I mean is that I don't think they intended for this. For example, Cyberpunk 2.0 update includes a completely reworked skill tree. Completely. All the skills are different.
Okay.
So they clearly didn't intend for that to be the way the game was. That is just based on. So that's why I hesitate to say it's the game that they wanted to make, because they have diverted kind of drastically in areas. Essentially what it is the Phantom Liberty DLC, which stars Idris Elba, is coming out at the end of the month. And along with it is the 2.0 update, which revamps the skills. It revamps how weapons and gear work. It revamps the police system. Like in a lot of key areas, they have completely redone systems. And so we are starting to create content around that. And so I think like we're honestly kind of jumping ship from Starfield a little bit. I think we were hoping for
jumping ship.
Exactly. I think we were hoping for it to be something a bit bigger. But yeah, so
speaking of ships, have either of you watched One Piece live action?
Oh yeah.
No.
Dan, what's the holdup?
Not watching it.
Why?
I'm watching other things.
Okay. All right. Missing out.
Maybe.
Tom, what's the word? Where you at?
We finished the first episode.
Oh, so Brooke's watching it now. Because you said originally
Brooks?
she wasn't going to.
Oh no, yep, she's into it. Like we started I told her, I was like, look, this is hard to explain.
You can watch all of this and just skip the first 80 episodes.
Do you
of the
really
anime.
think we can just skip? Because if we can just skip,
there's only one part you have to watch, which is the Logetown arc, because that was supposed to be the end of this season.
Okay.
And they cut it, but otherwise that's the last arc of East Blue, and that one's great. But you could just skip. I swear you could skip right to that. Some of the details are different. They don't fucking matter, and that's why they didn't include.
All right. Okay, then we'll do that, because we've been doing it simultaneously.
The East Blue saga is basically a prologue to the show. It's not actually like the real show, in my opinion, starts in season 2, because in many ways you still don't know at all like what the real story of the show is, and that is all introduced in season 2. Okay. Like season 1 is basically just a prologue.
We'll do that, and we're gonna watch the next episode, because it's interesting, because obviously, yes, it's introducing elements of the story way earlier.
Oh yeah,
than they are in the anime, and they're changing up things. Like we finished episode 5, which is the Barati. Is that Barate? Whatever it is. With Sanji's introduced, and that is very different. Oh. It is like radically different.
Yes,
but I'll say this, man, like they have like obviously they're doing things to cut around budget, right? For example, the Captain Kuro arc, which I do agree with you is the least interesting.
Yeah, Seer Village. It's also the worst arc. I think many people also kind of agree in the whole show.
But the way that they do it in the show is like, okay, we can't do this big thing where they have the confrontation with his whole pirate army on the beach. What if we set it in the mansion?
Yes.
And we make it like a horror thing?
Yep.
It's like Freddy Krueger hunting them down. And I was watching it, and I was like, what a genius way to get around this storytelling and make it like, honestly, like him as a character way more impactful. And then it also makes watching the anime a bit more digestible because it is so different. Like it is a very different vibe. Yeah, I think that the live. I really hope this is as successful as it seems to be because I want them to just.
It's doing very well. It's definitely getting a second season. The producer came out and they said that they have season 2 already written, and there have been rumors that people have been cast for season 2 that are very integral to the series that won't be introduced until then. They were like, yeah, if the second the strike's over, like if we can greenlight season 2, we can have it ready in 12 to 18 months. Like that's like they basically are ready to go with it, which is crazy. And they said that they have an overall 12 season plot to do the whole series, but they actually have 6 planned out because like it's Netflix. So, you
never know.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the idea of trying to do fucking anything past 5 seasons on Netflix is like a fool's errand in my opinion, but hey, good on them.
But this is the show that could do it.
Yes. I mean, it outsold Harry Potter. So, if you have the rights to that kind of a behemoth, then you run with it.
And I know people watching the show who have like almost like haven't even really heard of the anime. Like that's so far removed. Like yeah. And I've enjoyed
the Mind Gap podcast, folks. I saw them talking about One Piece at some point, and then I was DMing with them and telling them how good the show was, and like I definitely think it's worth it. And I told them about One Piece, but then I was like, look, the live action's coming out in a month. Don't know if it's going to be good. Seems like they might be like really trying to do it. I was like, you should just watch that because if it's good, you're going to get through like, somewhere between 50 to 100 episodes in 8. So you should just watch that. And then if you want to keep watching the anime, go for it. And that's what I tell everyone now.
Okay.
Just go watch the live
I just didn't know if there were enough differences that. Yeah. Okay.
Now there's one character in the second 2 episodes, the last set of episodes, 7 and 8, that's missing. And it's definitely a budget thing. That character would have required a lot of CG and like it just would have been really expensive, and with the timeline they created. So I'm guessing maybe they'll introduce him later, or they'll use a different character for that role. But even then, like you could always just watch some bits of the anime to see what was, you don't have to watch the whole thing. But I definitely think you can just finish this and jump right into the anime.
Okay, all right.
That's what I would suggest.
I will consider.
And speaking of ships, this last
one?
week's episode of Foundation, even better than the last. This I gotta tell you, man, this show, season 2, and where it's headed, like they're talking about doing so because Foundation is a like saga. It's kind of a massive series like One Piece. It's a very large volume of books, that start with like the robot books and the Robot Wars, and there's Foundation. There's the Empire series and the Foundation series, and then you have like the post Foundation Empire series. I don't remember what that one's called. But they were actually talking about like, oh, maybe we'll get to do a side series about the robot stuff, like the Robot Wars, like in the past, like, thousands of years ago and shit.
Right.
They've expanded so many things. I mean, Tom, there was like some Star Wars like level like space battle shit happening.
I'm excited.
It's great. It's great.
I loved season 1. I thought season 1 was again such a great. These TV shows that try and adapt these big epic storylines, when they're able to kind of bridge the gap between like, all right, how can we tell this grand story without how can we tell this grand story, but use our limited resources to best effect?
Yeah.
Like I think both shows are doing. It's really cool, and it's cool because it also is not a one-to-one comparison to whatever the material it's based off
and
of.
That show is also being very remixed in the way that One Piece is.
Right.
But you know, and
when you told me that the books don't have the emperors that are the three stages,
the genetic
I
dynasty,
was like, how is that even possible?
Yep.
It's the whole crux of the
Yep.
show. It's the most interesting part of the show.
Yep.
How the fuck can the books not have
and
that?
also, like, I'm really curious to see how long they can make that part of the show, because the whole thing is supposed to be like the Foundation series is all about like after the Empire's got, like, you know, it's like it's not necessarily about entirely the collapse of the Empire, although that is part of it. So I'm just like, how long, like, how are they gonna do, like, I feel like they're gonna find a way to keep fucking Lee Pace around for as long as possible.
Like, it's crazy watching One Piece live action and the anime, and like having Garp be introduced and like be this really compelling character, and like how he ties to Luffy, like,
which, by the way, you don't find out till like hundreds of episodes later.
I'm sure we don't.
Yep.
Because when he said what he said to kind of like identify him, I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Yep.
How the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Like, it just is like, it ties the other end of it. And
he also wasn't at the execution of Roger in the anime, but they did that in the live action.
Interesting.
Yeah,
the
made
execution
a lot
of Roger is
not
like, I know that it's mentioned in the beginning of the anime.
Oh, I just said interesting with an E sound. Interesting.
I know that the execution of the Roger, Gold Roger, is shown in the first episode, and then it's obviously in the intro. But it is because we don't have Garp as a character, and because it is just kind of like this throwaway thing of like, this is what the One Piece is in the anime, you don't have this like sense of the importance of the One Piece. It's
not
just
until later.
Big riches.
Yeah, not until later.
And in the show, it's like when they show Gold Roger's death, and you see the fact that actually executing him created this era of pirates that they were hoping to avoid.
He's like laughing, you know, like when he gets executed.
And like Garp, in his pursuit this whole season, has this vendetta because he kind of internalizes the idea of like, the reason that pirates run so amok is because of what I have done, and I'm trying to stamp out, you know, this like the biggest mistake I've made. Like, it's just such good storytelling, and it's completely absent. It's completely absent from the anime.
Kobe is one of my favorite characters in the manga and the anime. That character became, like Garp, a lot more prominent later in that part of it. And so then they've done like some flashbacks showing him like with Garp. But now, like, of course, like, since Oda's very involved with like story approvals and changes and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, actually, instead of this being exposition, you know, years from now, why don't we just have these things happening as part of the show?
It's so,
Kobe is so good. The actor's so good in the show.
He's way better. Like, he's way and it was funny because I said to Brooke, after he leaves Kobe with, you know, he leaves him right behind, I said to Brooke, I was like, don't worry, he's not in it anymore. Like we're done with this guy, because she didn't like him at first.
She didn't like Kobe?
Well, at first, with him as a fucking, she's just whiny, you know. She doesn't like whiny characters. And
well, you know, it's a good thing they made Usopp more likable in the live action, because the whiniest
way
motherfucker,
more likable, way more charming, way more Riz. You know what I mean? Like, he is, Absolutely. And it was funny because like we get to episode 3 in the live action, and fucking Kobe shows up again. I'm like, fuck. But again, compelling. His relationship with Garp, interesting. Like, Garp is so good. I cannot believe
all of the casting is like incredible. It's one of the things that makes the live action show work.
It's not even just like, because I do think the actor portraying Garp is great.
Yes.
But it's also like the fact of like Garp understands that Kobe has emotional ties to Luffy, and he understands that he is not like he's having doubts about the whole Marines thing.
Well, and he also understands that a lot of the Marines suck.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know where he lies. Is he just like, is he a bad guy? Is he righteous? And like the way that he plays like I honestly am like, I'm like, oh, I'm so
you got more good Garp stuff coming. You got more good Garp stuff coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
That's great.
There's a lot more to talk about.
All right. Well, sorry to bore you, Dan, but this is a great new show. All right. Why don't we talk about some news?
Let's do it.
Continuing on boring Dan. Let's talk about news.
Sure.
All right, so there's a Nintendo Direct and a PlayStation showcase tomorrow, right? Is that what they call it? What
state of
play? Yeah, Xbox showcase. That's what it is. They all have their own fucking terms.
Well, the PlayStation showcase is a thing, but that's like that hour-long.
Yeah,
like
you know what showcase
once a year thing.
I was disappointed in that Apple showcase. Whatever.
I mean, I think we knew it would. I was just very much expecting a whatever year.
Yeah, 5x optical zoom, very cool. Everything else.
It's funny because because the rumors were that the Apple Watch was going to be like it's a new chip and nothing more. They were like, oh, they've got that double tap thing. I was like, oh, that's cool, but you can just turn that on. And
I think the rumors
settings.
The rumors I remember are that the next watch is supposed to be a big change because it's the 10th watch. So they're gonna. But I'm like, Apple doesn't give a fuck about that kind of stuff. They only care about that when they want to. Like half the time they don't even use numbers. Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean shit. I'm never getting the round watch phone I want.
I don't think you may get a slightly more round.
Yeah, they'll slowly make it slightly more round for the next 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, yes, there is a Nintendo Direct happening tomorrow morning.
Yes, round.
40 minutes. So supposedly of games launching this year.
Yeah.
To be clear,
they always say that, and then they always show off some things that aren't.
Here's what's coming out this year. Detective Pikachu still has to come out. That comes out in October. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which I'm sure will be the headline of this Nintendo Direct. WarioWare Move It, and the Super Mario RPG remake. Those are the 4 games that they have before the end of the year.
And I might get all of those. I'm definitely getting Wonder, and I'm definitely getting
Wonder's a slam dunk.
I'm definitely getting Detective Pikachu. I might get RPG. I probably will. That's interesting.
RPG I'll buy in 10 years on sale for $57.
Well, Pokemon DLC came out yesterday, which is why I didn't start Starfield. Because I was like, oh, I could actually get a lot of Starfield in today. And then I'm like,
did you start playing the Pokemon DLC?
Well, no, sorry. It technically came out today. I don't know why I said yesterday.
Gotcha.
Came out today.
Well, yesterday.
Yeah. But
if you're listening,
I realized it yesterday that it was coming out. I'm like, I'm not starting Starfield and then stopping as a Pokemon. I'll never come back to it. So I'm just not even going to begin it. So I didn't get a chance to do anything other than load it up today.
Yeah, I think we'll get a look at the final. I think we'll get looks at all of those games.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a look at the final Mario Kart 8 Deluxe expansion.
Oh, right.
Which they said when they announced that they were doing those additional tracks that they would complete it by the end of 2023. So it would make sense to see it. Maybe we'll get more Pokemon DLC stuff, but we just had the Pokemon Direct.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
they may just say hey, it's out. This is what's going on.
Yeah. Or they'll just remind everyone the next Pokemon DLC comes in November or December or whatever.
But here's the question, Chris.
Yeah.
We hearing about the Switch 2 tomorrow?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I would like to. But I don't think
we don't like to.
I don't think we hear about the Switch 2 until after Super Mario Wonder has come. I think it might not be till beginning of next year. I would love that to be the case, even if it's just like a hint or it's just like a quick, like if it's just a reveal, but they don't go into depth on anything. Because we did have that with the Switch, right? Didn't they like announce?
Yeah, they had. Well, that was my thinking. Is it was around this time? It was like more October.
Was that the rooftop video?
Yes, the trailer.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they went over very lightly what the Switch was.
Maybe we will.
That's what I think. I keep going back and forth on this because I'm like, well, you don't want to eat into sales of the Switch this holiday by announcing a new console. But
unless
then,
they drop the price, because they've never even dropped the price on that motherfucker.
And then I'm like, but if they drop the price, they could just drop the price and basically undo that problem. And then B, I'm like, well, the Switch has sold astronomically to the point where there are only a few people left who are going to buy Switches that don't have a Switch.
Yeah, I think it's the third highest selling console.
And those are predominantly people aging into Switch age.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like the Mario movie came out this year. You've got Mario Wonder coming out. People who are going to buy Switches for their kids as like their first console, like if they're going to do it this year, a Switch 2 potential next year is not going to dissuade them. They're going to get that kid the thing for Christmas this year. So it's one of those things where I'm like, they have a bunch of ways out of getting around the fact that like if they announce the console now, like it'll eat into sales. Like I'm not worried about Switch sales this year.
Sure.
And then I do think, oh, they did announce the Switch like around this time before holiday in 2016. But then again, the system that they announced it that was out at the time was the Wii U, which was dead. So there was no worry about cannibalizing sales because there was no sales to be had no matter what. And then the third thing is like, I think, well, Nintendo just does weird shit all the time, and there's no rhyme or reason to why they do what they do, and I can never predict any of these things. Like, it's just like, oh, we're just going to remaster. Metroid Prime 4 has been announced, but it's not coming out for years. Oh, Metroid Prime Remastered, it's out today. They could just do it, and there could be zero logical reason as to why it gets announced or not announced. So I really think it's 50-50. Yeah. I'm like 50-50 on Switch 2 announcement.
Yeah. The problem is what comes out next year, right? Fucking nothing. So is this a spring console or is it a winter console? Because if it's a winter console, if it's a holiday console, we do not get Switch 2. If it's a spring console, we're getting
right.
Then there's a good chance we might see Switch 2.
I mean, they could launch with, Metroid Prime 4 they could launch with, but Metroid isn't a system seller. They could do... Well, here's the thing, Chris. We haven't heard a lick about a new 3D Mario. And it's time.
Yeah, but there were those rumors that the 3D Mario team was working on a Donkey Kong game.
Oh.
And then there's those rumors that like there is going to be a Donkey Kong... the next Donkey Kong Country is a 3D Donkey Kong Country game.
Interesting.
So, and with the way that they've integrated Donkey Kong into the Mario movie, maybe Donkey Kong becomes more a part of the Mario universe.
Sure.
And this is like a 3D Mario, and maybe it's a 3D Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Yo, Chris, that is a great idea.
That would actually be awesome. I would play the fuck out of that game.
A Donkey Kong Country / Super Mario game would be a genius idea. Cool. That would play into the movie, which is now probably the most popular Mario thing ever.
Yep.
And it would be right in time for the launch of the Switch 2.
Yep.
Which is the thing, is like if that comes out, you don't really need anything else next year.
I also think they need to put out Diddy Kong Racing on the Nintendo 64 because the way they position
we're definitely going to get some Switch Online announcements tomorrow. Definitely.
But the way they introduced the kart system in the Mario movie, it's like the karts are made by the Kongs and stuff, and they're the drivers of it. I'm like, they might make Mario Kart 9, but maybe they make a new racing game that is a little bit wider in scope, and they go with that aesthetic, and they go with that lore, and there's a lot more Kongs and things like that. There's just a lot they can do. But I want K. Rool back. I want the K. Rool and the Kremlins back. I think it'd be great.
Delicious.
Be good.
So that is
go on.
That is the Nintendo Direct. It's got, by the time you're listening, if you're listening now, and you're not live with us, if you're listening now, that it's already happened.
Great.
As has the PlayStation State of Play. I'm not expecting much from this one. This one, it says that it's going to focus on indie titles.
I think there was going to be some PSVR 2 highlights.
PSVR 2, there'll be some PSVR 2 stuff.
That's all I care about.
What's interesting is that then they didn't say that it will kind of focus around Spider-Man 2, which
they might did you even need to?
And that's my thing, is that no, you don't need to. But for every major first-party launch game they've had for the last few years, they've done a state of play leading into it, and they've done that as like the focus. And then the other thing is like Spider-Man previews, like press and influencers have played previews of Spider-Man 2 this week. Those will go up Friday morning. So it's interesting that, I mean, maybe we'll get just like a reaffirmation of, hey, Spider-Man 2 is coming out. You will see more from previews that'll be out. It's just interesting that it isn't like the thing that this is binding around.
I'm excited for that game.
I'm so stoked.
I'm excited for that game. And I'm really surprised that Alex hasn't played the Spider-Man games. Honestly, we should have, you know what we should have been doing? You shouldn't have been telling Alex about Baldur's Gate. You should have been telling Alex about Starfield. Should have just been telling Alex to play Spider-Man Miles Morales. Because it would have caught him up enough. It's a small game. It's cheaper.
I think if I tell Alex anything, he doesn't listen.
Well, it's not after Knock. Not after Knock. I was trying to help you. I was trying to help you by really downplaying Knock, because I knew that was not a game he was going to be into. I knew it. And once you burn Alex, I'm telling you, Milo. It's been like 15 years since that game come out, and every time I recommend a game to him, he's like, "Is this another Milo situation?" I'm like, "God damn it! Like, get over it."
Hopefully, I'm not burned as bad as Milo.
He's like an elephant, never forgets.
Yeah, so we'll see what the state of play holds. Again, if you're listening now, it's already happened. They announced the PS5 Pro and Spider-Man 3.
We got a voicemail. Why don't we do that?
Okay, let's go for it.
Let's do some mail.
Also, Unity can go fuck themselves. That's news piece number 3.
Oh yeah, that's true. Unity can go fuck themselves. Email at unrankedpodcast.com. That's email at unrankedpodcast.com. You can go to 805-738-8692, like our boy Mike did.
Hey, Unranked, it's like Mike. I was calling because I had been going through and watching all the old Godzilla movies, and I rewatched the newer versions, the newer MonsterVerse ones, and I watched Kong vs. Godzilla, and it got me thinking, like, Kong was the last of his kind, and I was kind of analyzing, like, why might that be? And I figured it out. Because he doesn't have a dick. He just doesn't have the tool to get the job done, and he's going to die a lonely, dickless death, and that's going to be the end of the Kong bloodline. Anyways, I just thought you might want to know that fact, and stay on rank and suck it. Oh wait, you can't. He doesn't have one. I'm sorry.
King Kong's not.
Is that a well-known thing?
I mean,
that he doesn't have a dick.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Obviously, you haven't seen it because, like, they're not going to focus on the dick if there is one.
Do we know that King Kong's a man?
King implies man.
Yeah, but that's just a title that they've imposed.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's why.
I think he's never ever come out being like,
apes,
"No, it's king. I'm a man."
I think amongst the great apes,
sis,
that the dong size amongst the great apes, I believe, is actually quite low. What if this is like a exponential rate here? What if you just can't see it, but it's there?
Maybe it's like a human-sized penis, but on him it just looks like nothing.
Yeah. Or even a gorilla-sized penis on him, which would be even worse.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, he could still have a big dick by human standards, and it'd be tiny for his like shape. You know what I mean? Like he's, especially in these new movies, he is big.
Yes.
So like he could have a
car
3-yard. Yeah, his dick could be the size of a car, and you still wouldn't see it. So it's a good point.
I feel like if he was tearing apart a city, it's not something I would be searching for either. I want to know where those arms are. They're throwing shit.
Sure.
But
sure.
from a ratio perspective, Kong Schlong isn't very long, right?
Kong Schlong is not very long.
Nice.
I
That's the new
mean,
tongue
from a
twister
ratio
when you're
perspective,
trying
Kong
to see what
Schlong
Mike's
is not very
working.
long. Kong Schlong, not that long. Have you guys seen these fucking films?
I've only seen Kong vs. Godzilla, and I actually really liked it.
That
movie
movie
watch the other
slaps.
Ones. That movie
no,
was so
Chris,
fucking cool.
don't watch
bro.
the other ones. You don't need to watch the other ones.
Oh,
Godzilla 2015. I was super hyped for. It's so boring.
Oh.
It's so boring because his whole pitch was, you're not going to see Godzilla the whole time. It's going to be on the humans. Fuck that. I want to see Godzilla.
Yeah. Is that the one with Bryan Cranston?
Yeah.
I have seen that. It was like, eh.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
Then you have Kong Skull Island.
Any of those really?
Which is the Kong Skull Island is more fun. They have more fun with it. It's still fine. It has its moments. Then you have Godzilla King of the Monsters, where they bring in like Mothra and King Ghidorah. That's a bad film.
Ugh.
It's so not good.
I was hoping
then you have
Then
you have Kong Skull Island, which is so much fun, such a fun film. And now they've got this Monarch. Have you seen this, Chris? The Apple TV show.
What is it?
It bridges the gap between Kong Skull Island and the current day Godzilla
I didn't know
stuff.
about this at all.
It stars Kurt Russell. It's about like the foundation of Monarch, which is the company, right? And it stars Kurt Russell, and then in flashbacks, Wyatt Russell plays young Kurt Russell at like the foundation of Monarch. So there you go.
Monarch of the Glen.
Well, he's king of the monsters.
That's what I started typing in Monarch Apple TV. Monarch Legacy of the Monsters.
Legacy of the Monsters.
Interesting. No, I haven't even noticed these previews, but if that's good, I might check that out. Is there? So wait, what's the sequel to Godzilla versus Kong? Has that not come?
And no, it hasn't come out yet.
Okay, because that's what I want. I want the follow up to that movie.
The next one is basically, from what I understand, the next movie is Godzilla versus Kong 2, which I'm all down for because that is the only good one, I think. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, questions for the pod. You're gonna want to go into Discord for this. From Spiffy, if you had to drink a full cup of any one of these sauces, what would you choose and why? Once again, Dan decides to interact with the questions.
Well, I was interacting just because there was questions in there based on what are these things.
Yeah, I understand.
I didn't answer.
Honey Racha, Mayo Racha, mayonnaise, mayo must, mayo Q, mayo chup, and cranch.
What the fuck? I don't know any of these.
So you got ketchup ranch, mayo sriracha. What's mayo Q?
Barbecue.
Okay. Mayo mustard, mayo racha. They have mayo racha twice on this list, and then honey racha.
Honey
racha and mayo. Was mayo racha twice? I didn't see.
Oh, mayo chup. Sorry, one of them was mayo chup. So much mayo. It's a lot of mayo.
Wait, mayo chup is just Russian dressing, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know if I know what Russian dressing is.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's mayonnaise and ketchup.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you're drinking a straight cup of this,
which sounds awful no matter what the choice is.
It does. So I'm chasing. I'll tell you right now, I'm chasing this with like half a loaf of bread, just to suck it up, because I don't want to be sick. No one wants to be on the bog spitting out a cup of mayo racha or cranch.
None of it's great.
Even if I have a bidet, it wouldn't be a good experience.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the mayo chup. I don't like mustard. The sriracha seems like spicy, like too spicy. Drink a cup of.
But the mayo will bring the spice, although they're probably making the spice even stronger to compensate for the. I mean, that feels like stupid to put those things together because the mayo like kind of balances out the sriracha. So you want, you want bland kind of like sriracha?
Chipotle mayo, I guess.
Okay. Here's the thing. I think the worst thing on here is the cranch. If you have to have a cup.
What's
If
What
not the
is
mayo
I don't like
mustard.
ranch. I know some people love, like, I've seen videos online. People drink ranch, like the full
What is
bottle.
the
I'm like, what are you
first thing?
crazy bastards doing?
Honey Racha.
No. Cranch is what?
Ketchup, and ranch.
Oh God, no. Oh,
Either way, I'm out
absolutely
on
not.
that. It
I
doesn't
think
matter.
I'd have to do honey sriracha.
Yeah, but a
'Cause
whole
I-
cup, dude.
Yeah, but here's
Think
the
about how much
thing.
extra sugar's in that.
Yeah, but
It's
like
not good. None of these are good.
I'm
none
going
of
with the
yeah,
mayo base because the
exactly.
mayo is super bland, right? So I think from this list you want to pick one of the 4 mayos.
It's not gonna feel that way in your stomach.
It's going to feel better than all the sugar from Honey Ranch or from Honey
Honey
Racha
syrup.
or Cranch. Like it's too much
What's-
sugar. The mayo doesn't really have sugar in it. You know, it's fucking eggs and olive oil and lemon juice. Like that's what mayo is.
Mm.
Yeah, not mayo out of a fucking.
Yeah, I might go with the Russian dressing just because I know what it'll taste like.
I might go with the
Yeah,
mayo
pick
cube.
the devil you know exactly.
I might go with the mayo cube.
Mayo cube.
That doesn't sound the worst out of the things here. It doesn't
What
sound
was number
good,
2
but
on
it
that
doesn't sound the
list?
worst.
Mayo Racha. So it's Honey Racha, mayo must, mayo cube, mayo chup, and Cranch.
Mayo must is a hell of a thing.
Yeah,
to
mayo
do.
must is a hell of a thing.
Mayo chup, I guess, is my answer.
I mean, look, like a lot of people will
Yeah,
make like
mayo
fry
chup.
sauce by just like mixing ketchup,
Ketchup
mayo,
and- yeah.
and like
But that's
mustard
different
and
than
things
what
like
we're.
that, or Thousand Island.
That's different than what we're fucking.
Yeah,
Can I
what
wash
is
it
it?
down with a plate of fries?
Yeah, I'll eat this if I can eat it over a
But, like,
long
yeah, if
period.
we
of
have,
time.
like,
Can I
we're
put
doing a-
fries. If I have a cup, can I put fries in the cup and then drink it that way? Just eat it.
This wouldn't be a bad selection to have if I were doing like a nugget power hour. You got a lot
Oh,
of
I would
options.
hate this selection. I like 1 or 2 things off this list.
I'd eat the mayo Racha. I'd eat the honey Racha. I'd eat the.
I'm not a big mayonnaise guy either.
I mean, either am I, but like I also like aioli, and so like, guess what? If you like aioli, you like mayonnaise. So
No,
like
I know.
these are
I don't
basically
hate all mayonnaise
all of these
things,
are
I'm just saying.
basically aiolis, right?
I don't like mustard
This one's
at all.
a
I
ketchup
wouldn't have the mustard
aioli,
one.
a barbecue aioli, a mustard aioli, and
I'm
a
staying away
sriracha
from the
aioli.
mustard. I'm staying away from Cranch.
Yeah,
Those
I
are the
mean,
two I'm
Cranch,
definitely not
Cranch
touching.
is the one on there that I would probably touch last, if I'm being honest. Cranch is the bottom of the list. What is your favorite sauce? What's your favorite sauce? You got like fries on your rings. What are you going for?
I mean, ketchup is just so good.
I
If
do
you're like
like
a
a
child.
good chipotle mayo.
I mean,
if
but
it's
here's the
good.
thing. Well, yeah, but here's the thing: is if I'm available for any sauce, there's so
No, I mean
much to
ketchup
pick
is good.
from.
Yeah.
Out of
Yeah.
all the basic ones,
What do you keep at home? If you have if you
I
have
have
4
ketchup at
sauces
home.
at home, if you have 4 sauces at home,
Yeah, ketchup.
ketchup is here, barbecue is here. Are we counting mayo? Like, I don't know if
yeah,
sauce.
yes, that absolutely counts.
I
as
mean, mayo maybe. A
Technically, mayo's here, but
Sorry,
I'm
a
using it by
condiment.
itself.
how's that?
A sriracha.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm big on the Kensington special sauce. I don't know if you've had that. It's very,
No.
very good.
Is that
Very
the
good.
K in Cranch?
No.
I love not A1. What's the one? The Heinz 57 sauce.
Sure.
It's not ketchup. It's like a.
It's a steak sauce.
It's like a.
Yeah.
It's like a more.
Yeah.
It's like their A1
spicier.
ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's orange. It's like ketchup. It's thick.
Yeah.
It's not like a brown liquid.
The
That shit is fucking good, dude.
so Kensington's is like an orange color, but my favorite thing to do with Kensington's is that I'll add some horseradish to it, and then you get that like zing. It tastes kind of like, it ends up tasting like the sauce you get if you do like a bloomin' onion. It's kind of like onion ring sauce at like a Burger King, but better. It's very good.
Special sauce?
It's very good. You know what? This is a longer question, and we're kind of at time, so I think we push to next week. We'll see you guys next week. Stay unranked.
Suck it, future us.